Hello everyone, my name's Aaron, otherwise Lobo TCG, and here for a little video that I've been wanting to kind of do a series like this, but I just haven't really found the opportunity to be able to do it. There's been a really large array of universes beyond, and basically what I want to do is I just kind of want to talk about the flavor and the lore and a lot of fun and cool interactions that happen in some of the universes beyond cards, but mostly for things that I'm really intimate and familiar with. So obviously I'm not going to be able to do this for every single UB set out there. There's a new sort of UB set coming out every day. Fun fact, I wore this shirt this morning. That's just how I dress. I did not have to actually dress for the occasion, and even when I am not dressing for the occasion, I am dressed for the occasion. So I think I'm pretty qualified to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog lore here. And as a Magic the Gathering player and a lover and acceptor of Sonic, because it's not all love. There's a lot of acceptance that comes with the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom here, but very interesting crossover that I was alerted to today. So I've already looked at the cards, but I'm going to take a little better look of them and kind of give some quick opinions. I'm not here to give deck building tips. There's going to be tons of those videos done by far better qualified people, but I just really want to talk about just kind of like I'm really fascinated by the top down design nature of Universes Beyond in general. So just kind of looking at this, kind of seeing where the designers are at. And if one thing I want to do too is I want to, talk about color alignments, color pie alignments, and whether I agree or disagree with the color alignment and how I feel like it does, if it fits that character or not. So we're going to get right into it. So this is an interesting drop, Sonic the Hedgehog. These are mechanically unique cards coming to Magic the Gathering. Everyone's going to talk about the one, meme comic about the Travis Scott ism, and we're getting closer there every day. But it's just what the game is now. So if you had time to get out, or if you wanted to get out, then um, no one's forcing you to play the game. I personally love Universes Beyond, and I love the top-down design, and I love the art and the characters and the things that they're doing with this. So less here to gush and just more here to just talk about some of the cards. So first one we have mechanically unique is Super State, costs 7 colorless, enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 9/9 and has flying, first strike, trample, and haste. And whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. So this is interesting. So you get to lore wise, you get to go super. So if anyone's played the games, there's like Super Knuckles, Super Tails. Like you could do that in kind of some of the older games. Like canonically, there's Super Shadows, Super Sonic. Like Metal Sonic has gone super in the comics. Silver has gone super. Silver not in this drop, which is funny. But one thing I do like is it costs 7. So it costs 7 mana to cast. That's representative of the 7 Chaos Emeralds that you need to join together. So I'm shocked it doesn't cost Wooburg, but I actually agree with it not costing Wooburg and then like 2 colorless, because it means that it can go in any deck because anyone can become super if they gain the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Like even Dr. Eggman does it in one of the movies, Sonic 2 specifically. But yeah, then you become strong, so become a 9/9. You get flying, first strike, trample, and haste. I kind of would have personally added indestructible to this, but maybe that pushes the card too much. Maybe it didn't do well in play testing, but otherwise, yeah, like it definitely you can have the fun meme where you're like, oh, I got Super Wolverine, Super Deadpool, Super Cloud Strife. Um, but yeah, Super State seems like a fun card. It's begging for removal. And actually, this has a pretty cool interaction with some cards that are in this set that I'll mention when we cross that threshold. So next we have Knuckles the Echidna, so cost 2 and a red. I don't think Echidna is a creature type until now, but like Magic's been adding all sorts of new creature types with the support for Universes Beyond, like Chocobo and Moogle are. I know Moogle is. I think Chocobo's just they might have got away with just calling them birds. But he has double strike, trample, and haste, and whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And he has treasure hunter ability at the beginning of your upkeep. If you control 30 or more artifacts, you win the game. So this is cool because like if you played like Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 1, Knuckles' whole thing was always been about just like obtaining treasure, and he gets to burrow and he has to go look for the Chaos Emeralds, and that makes a digging his win condition. I will say I don't really agree with the having him be red. This is one thing that I was like really afraid of Universes Beyond to say, oh, Knuckles is red. Look at him, he's red, so therefore his card must be red because Knuckles always struck me as Gruul. Like he's, his lore is that he's like the ancient protector of the Master Emerald, and he's very, the Echidnas come from this ancient race. He's very earthy, and he's just very big about strength, and those are things that tend to line in the color green. So I don't agree with him being mono red. I would take Gruul or mono green over this color alignment, but someone's like, oh, you have to make Knuckles red, so that probably went over in design. And also, like, I do understand like creating treasure tokens is typically something you do in red in Magic, so that might fit a little more. They could have gave him Gruul at least. So we have Amy Rose next. So she is Boros, so two in a white and a red. So she has haste. Whenever Amy Rose attacks, attach up to one target equipment to her, then up to one other target attacking creature gets plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is Amy Rose's power. So I think that's cute because she attacks in pairs. So she wants to be paired with somebody else. Like Amy Rose's lore is kind of that she's love struck over Sonic the Hedgehog, and she's always kind of crushing on him, and he's very indifferent or oblivious to her romantic advances. So I think it's funny that she has synergy with Sonic, and Sonic does kind of has synergy with her. But one thing that I think is funny is that she can go in the Sonic deck in the 99, but Sonic cannot go in the Amy Rose deck because he has blue in his color identity, and I think that's funny. So next, we have Dr. Eggman. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make an announcement. Dr. Eggman is in Magic the Gathering. I think that's funny. So, flying. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Then each opponent faces a villainous choice. That player discards a card, or you may put a construct, robot, or vehicle card from your hand onto the battlefield. So, this is my favorite card of this set. So if there's going to be a commander I build, it's going to be Dr. Eggman. I have a Edward Kenway deck that is kind of vehicles jank that can easily get converted into Dr. Eggman. But yeah, Dr. Eggman's the villain of the series. I already like agree with his color choice, which is Grixis, because like the artificer colors or the scientist colors tend to be blue and red, and then black is the sinister part. So sinister scientist usually gets Grixis, and I agree with Grixis for Eggman. And yeah, you can do some fun stuff with that. The villainous choice probably is going to get old really fast for a lot of people at the table, so he might become kind of a targeted commander because people are not going to want to discard, and they have till the end of the end step to deal with him. So you cast him, and then they can wait till your end step, or decide if you even allow you to move to your end step if they want to decide that everyone doesn't have to discard. So I can see him being a removal target and magnet, but if you don't discard a card, then you get to put down a vehicle, and that's Eggman's thing. Like I do like the deck building um, flavor of Dr. Eggman because it wants you to put lots of big artifacts in there because putting big robots on the field is kind of his thing. So this is already like if I had to give an award to a card that's gonna be my favorite from the set, it's definitely gonna be Dr. Eggman. One thing I did notice about this set I think is very interesting. So anyone who's familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog and the way Sega controls a lot of it is that there's the mandates, and all these characters they're it's not like Knuckles the Treasure Explorer or Amy like Love Struck Fool or something like that, or Dr. Eggman Nefarious Artificer. They can just come up with dumb names like that. That's typically what Magic the Gathering does in these scenarios. But it's just names. It's just the characters' names, like Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, Miles Tails Prower. I wonder I wonder if that's indicative of universes beyond kind of trying to future-proof a lot of stuff by not having to come up with cutesy, clever titles for every single character because of how much work they're dealing with, or if this was the Sega mandates just saying like, no, the Tails card must be called Miles Tails Prower because that's his name. So I think that's pretty interesting. We'll never know until someone says it, and then we know it. So, but anyone familiar with Sonic the Hedgehog lore, knowing how strict Sega is with its mandates, I would not shock me if they were like, "No, you're not calling the Dr. Eggman card like Dr. Eggman announcement maker. Like, no, you're just gonna call him Dr. Eggman. You can't call him Ivo Robotnik." Um, but we got Miles Tells Prower. That's his name. Everyone knows it's a pun on miles per hour. That was unique to North America. That's like really basic Sonic trivia, by the way. He has Flash and he has Flying because it's Tails. Tails flies. That's what he does. Whenever a vehicle you control enters, draw a card. If it has Flying, otherwise, put a flying counter on it, so everyone knows Tails' signature vehicle is the little biplane, and he's known to be the mechanic of the group, and he flies a plane, and he rewards you for playing flying vehicles because that's his thing. And if the vehicle doesn't fly, Tails will make it fly. So another thing is Tails, Amy, and Knuckles can all fit in the Sonic deck. You can put them in the Sonic deck. And now that I think about it, that's probably why they excluded Green from Knuckles to make sure that like the person who wants to make the Sonic deck can have Team Sonic and all his friends, and then Shadow can actually go into the Dr. Eggman deck. So that's probably a little bit of the design reason, but I'm still going to push that Knuckles should have been green. Um, because he's way more green than he is red. But if they're going to keep Sonic as Jeskai, then someone's going to be like, you can't put Knuckles in the Sonic deck. Isn't that dumb? So, like, I understand. There was definitely a design pitfall there, but I like Tails. He's cute. I like Azurius vehicles. It's a archetype that got really crowded really fast. Like it was so novel with the Kamigawa commander. Oh god, I can't remember his name. Ojitai? I can't remember. But now it's like you have so many different options in that specific, archetype, and it's just a lot of fun. And he seems like a fun one. You can cast big creatures, you could cast small creatures. You get to draw a card for playing a Ornithopter or something dumb like that. Ornithopter of Paradise. There's a lot of synergies in there. And then we have the two headliners here. So we have Shadow the Hedgehog. So he's Rakdos, and he's no colorless at all for Shadow, just black, black, red, red. Um, oh yeah, I wasn't looking at the creature types a little bit too. So she's a Hedgehog warrior, which is fine. Human scientist, because what else is Dr. Eggman going to be? Tails is a fox artificer. So yeah, that's technically correct. Like I'm sure Sega would have probably preferred mechanic or something, but like within the Magic's existing creature types, Artificer is effectively the same thing. Shadow the Hedgehog is a hedgehog mercenary, and he has haste. And whenever Shadow the Hedgehog or another creature you control with flash or haste dies, draw a card. And each spell you cast has split second if mana from an artifact was spent to cast it. So this is a fascinating card. I don't even know how to even start building this. I would have to actually like do a deep dive directly into Scryfall to see what direction to even take this in. I will point out that I do like that the Sonic and Shadow arts they're in a similar pose, and that's pretty awesome. Shadow very obviously on Radical Highway, which is his signature stage, where he kind of. Oh yeah, I didn't even pay attention to everyone else's backgrounds. Like Tails is kind of in a green hill zone, and Knuckles is climbing a mountain because that's what he does. They should have put him in Pumpkin Hill. That would be funny if he was on Pumpkin Hill. I wonder who these artists are. I wonder if any of them ever contributed to the IDW comics or anything like that. But yeah, Shadow, everything resolves tribal. That's really interesting. So I don't know how to get too much value out of the flash or haste. Like when they die, like maybe you can blitz stuff. No, because does Blitz die? And you just draw a card off of blitzing something out? I don't know. I would have to look at the Blitz keyword real quick. I don't have it memorized. There's so many keywords in Magic the Gathering, but there's a lot of interesting stuff you can probably do with him. But in turn, we're here to talk about flavor mostly. So Shadow the Hedgehog, famously known for his tragic backstory, the death of Maria Robotnik, is what that was his first kind of arc where that's what fueled his vengeance and revenge. I do agree with Rakdos being his color identity. Even though, like, again, I hate when it's like, oh, he's red and black, so we have to make him red and black. Like they did that with Captain America and Guile. Guile's the one I disagree with more than Captain America, but like, oh, he must be red, white, and blue because America. That joke would stop being funny. But yeah, I do agree. Like he's got the darkness in him, and he's also got the rage and the fury, and those combine into red and black, and within Magic the Gathering's color pie. So, like I said, the only one I really disagree with is Knuckles so far, but I can tell they did that so he can fit in the Sonic deck. But yeah, so he has Chaos Control, so you want to collect your trinkets and collect your Master Emeralds, and then you take the Master Emerald and everything resolves. So he's immune to blue. Oh, you know what? That might be the hidden flavor here, is that he is immune to the shenanigans of blue mana. So I guess that's it. He can handle blue. That's interesting. Like I said, number one is Dr. Eggman, the card that I'm most excited about. Number two is Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't even know how to build that. It's like I'll have to do a deep dive, but like Chaos Control just means it's going to reward you for doing something Rakdos that you're already going to do, which is ramping with rocks and maybe push you towards more rocks. But like when you're in Rakdos, you don't have green, so you're gonna ramp with mana rocks. So it's probably encourage you to have more mana rocks, and that'll probably lead you to playing to have other cards in that color identity that um, are maybe higher mana costs because you want to everything to resolve. You don't have to worry about casting something big. And I don't know how to play with his first ability. I would have to be way more familiar with the cards in that, but my brain wants to say I know Blitz for sure comes from the graveyard. I say for sure. I'm like 95% sure. So we have Sonic the Hedgehog. He has haste because it's Sonic the Hedgehog, and he has gotta go fast. So fun fact about gotta go fast, that was never a thing. That was the lyric of the original Sonic X American version of the cartoon, and it kind of became a meme. Sonic never actually said it until the movie, and everyone's like, "That's not his catchphrase. Why is he saying that?" Then he said it in every other single movie, and the through sheer force of will, pun not intended, maybe a little bit, but not really. I just owning up to it. But it has become his motto. like I, um, and whenever Sonic the Hedgehog attacks, you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control with Flash or Haste. So he wants you to go fast, and it looks like all his homies have Flash. Miles has Flash. Um, Knuckles has Haste. Amy has Haste. So all these cards want to be in the Sonic deck, and I think that's a flavor win. Even though I don't agree with Knuckles being red, he's green, but still. Um, and whenever creatures you control with Flash or Haste are dealt damage, you create a tap treasure token. So I think this card's very obvious. It's positioning Sonic as the leader because Sonic. Um, I don't know if I agree with Jeskai being his color. Sonic's kind of like a free soul, and he's definitely red more than anything else. But like he's blue because his fur is blue, and he's white because his like gloves are white. I think this is another Captain America. Like, okay, just put the character's colors in the cut identity. But flavor wise, I think like his ability to lead Team Sonic. Like, if you look at it as less of a card for Sonic the Hedgehog and more of a card to lead Team Sonic, I think that's the flavor win right there. And rewarding you for playing members of Team Sonic or anything else interesting that you can do within the Jeskai colors. Also, like I think this is, I don't know if this is an intended interaction, but this would be fun. But if you were able to steal and recruit Shadow the Hedgehog from someone else's board because you can't have him in your color identity, then he could start also, like if you were to like Agent of Treachery a Shadow the Hedgehog from someone else's board, he's immediately going to become a functioning member of Team Sonic, and that's actually kind of cool. So I don't know if I should give kudos to the design team for that one, but it just works. But also giving these guys all need haste because that's what they're known for. And I do think it's funny that Super State can go into the Shadow the Hedgehog deck and it will resolve. That was the interaction I was hinting at earlier, which I think is interesting. You can just like Shadow will go super. You'll probably have to kill him on the next step, but which is why I was thinking about like I should probably grant indestructible, but um, I'm really excited for these cards. They seem decently costed for what they do. I think a lot of their abilities are cute, and there's more to the drop, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that. But most of it is just reskins of existing magic cards. So we have Knuckles Gloves as the Reaver Cleaver. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, has trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, they may create that many treasure tokens. So I think this is cute because it's advancing Knuckles in what if he were to be your commander, he's advancing your goal as to what you want to do. Air shoes, which creature has hexproof and haste, so I mean, gotta go fast. We know what Swiftfoot boots does. It wouldn't be a commander set if they didn't somehow keep trying to sell us on Mere Battlesphere. Um, but this is a big target for Dr. Robotnik, so it's what the Dr. Robotnik deck wants to do, which is to play really big artifacts. So if you're like me, you're like, oh, I'm definitely going to go for like, Blightsteel Colossus or something like that. I would actually, I would love to see Blightsteel Colossus in that spot. Just Blightsteel Colossus as like the Death Egg or something fun like that. But they can't put too much value in here, and Blightsteel Colossus was in the Transformers Secret Lair as a Megatron, so that would be interesting. Like, I'm definitely going to put Megatron in the Dr. Robotnik deck, and I know that sentence is what people hate about UB, but enough people love it. I think it's fun. We have the Pico Pico Hammer as Hammer of Nizan. And right, so we know what that does, and that's going to have synergy with Amy. It's Power Sneakers, and it's Sonic's shoes. Even though people will vehemently tell you that he's wearing boots, not sneakers. There's no part of that is a sneaker in any way, shape, or form. But I'm not here to argue that. And we have some more. We have Tornado Sonic's biplane. So this is what Tails famously pilots. And we have a mirror token as a little badnik. And this is a flying vehicle, so it rewards Tails for what Tails wants to do. And the cool thing is that if you're building a Sonic deck and you're going to put Sonic and the Sonic friends all in one deck, then you already have a home for that. You're already, you know, you already got all these cards to get a head start on. So if you're building a commander deck, you're already like, 10 cards in or something like that. I could sit here and count them, but I'm not going to do that. And then we have some more cards. So these are just commander staples with more Sonic flavor. So, and they all kind of do what some of these cards already want to do. So Generous Gift is just a commander staple, but it's actually fun flavor because you're destroying something and then you're making a little creature to come out of it because that's what Sonic does when he jumps on the Badnik's head. So destroy something and then they get a little elephant. Open the Armory is a crazy reprint. So I don't know if that card's still worth anything. It used to be an expensive card at one point, but just go tutor a weapon, and that's pretty awesome. And it literally shows Amy grabbing her Pico Pico hammer, and the card's almost telling you what you want to do. And obviously, people are gonna do degenerate stuff with it, like getting something funny. I can't think of it. Go get Buster Sword with Open the Armory or something like that. Fabricate has you searching for an artifact card, put it in your hand. So funny enough, this can go in the Tails deck, but this will probably also go really good in the Eggman deck because the Eggman deck also wants to make sure that you have make sure that you have vehicles in hands. And this also will be a fun way to force people to discard in the Eggman deck because if you play Fabricate and you show people like, "Hi, I went to go get Blightsteel Colossus," the moment you don't discard, this is coming on the field. So People will probably be more pressured into doing that. So Fabricate's a good choice. We have Deadly Dispute, sacrifice an artifact or creature. I feel like the designers are like, we really want you to kill Maria. Like they're like, there's going to be some card that people are going to dub as Maria, and it'll be the whole game is to kill the Maria and draw 2 cards and draw a card off a Shadow's ability. Um, that actually sounds funny. I'm going to go think of what can be a good surrogate for Maria in Magic. So we have Unexpected Windfall, which is basically card draw and treasure. So like all these do what the card wants to do, its respective card wants to do. Soul Ring, you can't go without a Soul Ring. We got the Treasure Artifact showing Green Hill Zone, which is gorgeous, and that seems to be it. So a lot of exciting cards. Again, I did not wear this shirt for the occasion. I literally went to work dressed like this, and someone's like, "Hey, man, you saw the new Magic post?" And I said, "No." So really excited for these cards. I already like spoiled who my winner is. It's definitely Dr. Eggman. I already have a Edward Kenway deck that's mostly vehicle jank that I can very easily convert into Dr. Eggman and probably have a way. It'll probably become just way meaner by nature. So I might do a deck tech on that. I haven't done a deck tech in a long time. I have a lot that I wanted to do, but just finding time to sit down and record and all that other stuff's been difficult. But I still really, really wanted to do this kind of stuff. So really excited for the Sonic set. I'm probably going to get 2 copies of each of the Secret Lair, which is, part of the problem. But also, like, I would love to put these cards in other decks and then also make their own respective decks. I'm not going to do one for each member of Team Sonic, but I feel like the Team Sonic deck kind of 20% build itself. So it's just mostly building your mana base and your other stuff around it. But you have the core of the, hey, here's Team Sonic and friends assembling, and Shadow the Hedgehog looks really interesting. I like how he can go into the Eggman deck, so um, that's interesting. But he definitely wants to be his own commander, which I think might be part of the flavor win as well. So thanks for taking the time to listen to me, and if you guys like more content like this, then let me know in the comments and let me know through the interaction, and I'll happily become more active. Because let me tell you, like little words of encouragement and stuff like that definitely definitely go a long way with motivating me to actually do more content. So, deuces. Maybe I'll come back with some deck techs.